Okay, so I messed this up already. Sorry about that. I see I'm live way too early. So I'm going to just let it go because I don't know how to stop it and restart it. This is a little bit of a learning curve for me. But if you're here, you can chat with me. And there's still 15 minutes. I can't even hide anything. I'll see if I can edit this after the fact too. Oh boy. All right, I can see that there's some people potentially watching. This is a new platform for me. This is an experiment, and I'm going to start in 15 minutes. But just if you're here and want to chat, all you have to do is you have to be subscribed to the channel. I turned that setting on. That's part of my experiment. I can see that, and otherwise, how do I even? I'm still learning what I'm doing. So see if I can learn it in the next 15 minutes. I don't have access to that feature. That's interesting. Stop sharing. I don't have the choices here. Okay, thank you. I see that my screen looks good. That's good. Hopefully you can see me too. I assume so. Sorry for starting this early. That's just a error. And it looks like if I stop it, it's like gone. So I'm going to hang out for another 15 minutes and I'll begin the presentation when I promoted it. So thank you for chatting and letting me know. I appreciate it. Oh. And actually, I'm going to do something I need to do, which is get something to drink in case as I talk, I need some water. All things I plan to do during this 15 minutes before we start. But I'll be right back. All right. A couple of you have already said hi in the chat, but I see more people are kind of popping in here. I'm new to YouTube Lives, fairly new. I've done one. It went better already than this one because I started this 15 minutes too early. So I don't see a way to stop it. I'm learning. It's a learning curve. Just trying to provide some value about Evernote, and we'll begin in, let's see, it looks like now 12 minutes. If you are here and want to confirm that you can chat and ask questions, you can look at the chat now. I can see the chat. You do have to be subscribed to the channel, and then there's like a 1 minute delay before it'll let you type in there. So that would be a good activity to kind of test out. Let me know where you're joining from, and I will start at the top of the hour. That's noon my time, but whatever the top of the hour is in your time zone, that's when we'll begin. So thanks for bearing with me. Sorry for the little hiccup here. Get my screen all ready for you. This is the most exciting. Hi, Mike from Aurora, Illinois. Welcome. Let's see what kind of chat functionality I have here. I'm working with 2 monitors, so. There you go. All right. So part of this is I'll just chat with you all. I'll talk about this in a minute, but I'm just trying to help decipher and decipher what's going on with Evernote, which is a lot. And Evernote does these fun little recaps most months. And I thought, why not try taking a little deeper dive into that and giving you guys an opportunity to interact with me live and ask questions as time permits. So I had intended to do this for about 45 minutes, but now I've got the most boring YouTube Live ever by starting early. So again, my apologies for that. My idea is, well, we'll see. We'll see if we'll see if YouTube lets me edit this out when it's over. But my idea is I'll do this monthly, maybe next year, and hopefully I'll get better at it. Make it a little snazzier and efficient for you all. But it's at least at the minimum, you can see my screen and you can see me and you can hear me. So, and there's people chatting. So welcome to the channel. Oh, all right. Well, here what I'm going to do is poke around with the YouTube Live and learn on the fly here. It looks like I can start a poll. So I'm going to ask a couple questions, which is, how many notes do you have? And let's see. I'm going to say, so that's good. I can at least add a poll and hopefully you all can engage with it. So that's kind of interesting, learning on the fly. it didn't let me put more than four choices. Individual, it didn't give me a chance to put more than four choices. If I could have, I would have put like 10,000 plus as the fifth option. But that's just a way to kind of start as we get going. Okay, looking at Mike's comment, I wonder if it's due to the new pricing, but I'm able to delete notebooks, but individual notes do not give me that option. So that's interesting. What, I guess, let me know which plan you're on. I'm curious about that. That should not be. You should be able to delete notes, especially now that they're capping the note count. So that feels like a bug. So I'll be curious to hear that. Nothing about that makes sense to me. I don't know about that. So that's one thing to kind of check out. But it would be helpful to know which plan you are on. And I will discuss the new plans a little bit during this presentation, which will start now in 6 minutes. Oh, Kelly's saying that was a problem and just yesterday it was restored. Yeah, so I guess we can kind of talk about this a little bit. And if you guys are all joining me, I just made a newbie error here with YouTube Lives. I started it way too early. I thought it would put me into like a holding room and I could kind of play with the commands and stuff. So I'll get better. And I can't end it and restart it or else it kills the whole thing where people have RSVP'd. So I'm just kind of killing time. But one of the things that you're going to kind of notice as Evernote goes through this version 11 transition is that things are going to ebb and flow in terms of bugs. So they're making we'll talk about why in just a little bit, but sometimes just a little patience and a refresh or waiting for a patch update can resolve things. There's a lot going on, and whether or not it visually is impacting your experience or it's an official new feature, there can be a lot of things that impact your pricing. So like Kelly's saying her slash command is not working right now. Like I'm not having that issue, but here I'm going to demo some things live and we'll see what happens. Okay, Mike's on the professional plan, but be downgrading due to the new pricing. Okay, so with 4,600 notes, yeah, you should be able to well, first of all, it's not going to downgrade you until your renewal date. You should get a 30-day notice. Look for that email. You can always look at your account settings to double check that. And then you should have plenty of time to be able to delete your notes. And you can delete them in batches up to 100 at a time. So you've got 4,600 notes. That's a little bit of a task that you're going to have. But I'd go through the process of like kind of exporting them and then maybe trying to delete them. Like, I don't know if you're on a Mac or Windows, but on Mac, you can like select multiple notes and hit Command Delete, and it'll put them into the trash. It's a double delete process. Actually, that brings up a good question. I'm not clear if you have to empty your trash. Probably so. I think, in fact, that's a question I'm going to ask Evernote. Do trashed notes count against the cap? I don't know the answer to that. But I can tell you that I'd be shocked if they're not allowing you to delete notes on purpose. That just doesn't resonate with what the idea is about the plans. So they want you to be able to navigate within the plan you're in. And in order to do that, you're going to need to fall below the 1,000 note cap. And you should be able to delete your notes in order to do that. My guess is too, you're going to have to delete your trashed notes. That would make sense. So do trash notes count against the starter plan limits? No. So to Kelly's asking a question, do trash notes automatically delete after 30 days? No, you have to proactively delete your trash. I have like thousands of notes in my trash because I rarely delete them. Trash notes count against the starter plan limit. It would be logical that they would. That they would count against it. So, but I'll clarify. We'll go from there. Okay, we're getting closer. So we got about 3 minutes. Welcome to those of you who are joining me. I see we've got some newer viewers here. I made a mistake in starting this before I should have. So I'm killing time right now. A couple of things you can do is just confirm if you care to answer the poll. I just figured out I can do a poll option. I'm kind of learning YouTube Live. So this is just a learning curve for me. So the polls, you can answer the poll. And if you'd like to chat, you just have to subscribe to the channel. And then I think the channel makes like a 1-minute delay before it'll let you post comments. So start that process if you're not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, and that should unlock the ability for you to engage in the comments. We've got Mike and Kelly and username I can't decipher the first name on saying hello. Okay, but we will start right at the top of the hour. And so like there's a couple things. If you go here to delete a note. So I actually think this is a UI issue. You have to like scroll down to move to the trash, but notice there's a little key command here too. So I often like to work with deleting notes from this column. Like you could mass select the notes and then you could delete them down here also. So lots of options for deleting, but I think if you're not seeing trash here, it's because it's scrolling. You have to scroll down, which I've let them know about. I think that they need a little indicator that it's there or that you have that option. So there's that. All right, we're getting closer, almost a minute. And as we go through this, so I'm going to go live for up to 45 minutes. I'll keep an eye. It's just me. I don't have a moderator, so it's going to be hard for me to fully keep up with your questions in the chat. I'm going to try to stick to what they talked about in their video and answer what I can within 45 minutes. And I'll show you guys how you can keep learning with me as we kind of go along. But for now, I think we're almost close to getting started. And I look forward to kind of sharing with you what we've got going here and hopefully give you guys some information about what's happening with Evernote, which is a lot. All right. Looks like people are starting to come in here. Okay, here we go. All right, welcome to this YouTube Live. I am Stacey Harmon. I'm an Evernote certified expert. I also do Evernote coaching and training full-time through my company, Harmon Enterprises. And today what I wanted to do is try out kind of a new format. One of the things that Evernote officially does on a fairly regular basis, so most months, I would say, not all months, but most months, is they do a YouTube video that does a feature recap of what they released that month. So Federico Simeonato, the product lead for Evernote, he is responsible for the product. He goes through what is new in the app. And typically it's a screen share, like a slideshow, and they've edited it, etc. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of go through his presentation, but I'm going to show it in live time. And then you have the added benefit of, asking me questions if you like. So a couple of things, that's really the talk. We're going to kind of dissect his what's new for November 2025. And actually on this video, they did some live demoing in it, or at least recorded demoing. So you can kind of see it. I'm going to take you into my Evernote account, which obviously you can see I'm doing here. I'm presenting from Evernote as well. To post a couple logistics, to post in the chat or ask questions, you just have to subscribe to this channel, my Harmon Enterprises YouTube channel. And then I think there's like a 1-minute delay that should unlock your ability to chat or ask questions or engage with me during this live presentation. I also want to just point out that I am running version 10.165.1 here. This was actually just released today, but you can see the release notes there. So if you're watching this on a later date, the functionality is limited to what is in 10.165.1. And every time there's a little heart here, it's an Evernote feature that we're covering and I'm going to talk about here. And I'm going to point out two things. The first thing is we're going to talk about AI meeting notes, which is currently available for all paid subscribers. And what I want you to do is I want everybody who's on the call and has Evernote open right now to try it out. And I'll go through it in more detail, but you can just go to insert and type audio. And it should work on your phone as well. But if you go to audio recording and you choose remote, because this is a remote meeting, it'll record the microphone from inside your computer or your phone, as well as the audio outside. And you can see here, now I've got the audio in progress. And what we'll do is I'm going to let this run And I'd like you all to do the same thing, because this is going to demonstrate how one of the brand new November features that's really, really powerful and really cool works. And you can see there's an audio meeting in progress, and I can pause it, I can stop it. It's recording me, and then I'm going to show you the transcription and the AI meeting notes feature kind of as we go through. So I'm encouraging you to pause, turn it on. Again, it's up here in the insert menu, and if you type audio, you have the ability to add it. You can also do it with a / command, which we'll talk about in just a couple of minutes. Okay, but I'm going to let that run while I'm going through this so that you all can kind of see what's how it works, and we'll make it a live demo because it's one of my favorite new features from November of 2025. The other thing I want to point out, and this isn't a new feature, but it's a really cool Evernote thing. This is an example of what they did. So this is the replay that Evernote did.
Stages
okay.
Of the group.
I linked to this in that we're not going to watch the whole thing while I'm here. I took screenshots, but I wanted to point out that I have just pasted the YouTube video link in my Evernote note. And one of the advantages to doing that is Evernote will strip out the ads. So we could actually watch this ad-free here in YouTube. And a lot of people don't know that. So I like to kind of point it out. And if you're not seeing the video, you notice here, you can actually change the format of the video. I mean, I could have it as a text link, or I could have it as a full width preview, or a little smaller. So there's lots of functionality and little fun features with YouTube videos. And this is a great chance to kind of show that to you. So I've got the video here, but again, you can watch that on your own time. I'm going to review it as Federico kind of went through it, and talk about the topics and show you how they work here in Evernote. So first, let's get to his update for November of 2025. This is what Evernote released. And the first thing he addressed was the timing of version 11. So currently we're in version 10. But version 11 is imminent. And what he said is that they are in the final stages of preparing for the release. I would expect it before the end of the year. It could be as early as tomorrow. I have no idea. We'll see when it comes out. He did acknowledge that they were targeting to release it on November 11th, 2025, but it was delayed. And he addresses why. He says that they're working on what's called embeddings. So this is a very large indexing process that they have to go through. And embedding is basically indexing all of your notes to be searched so that you can use Evernote and these new AI features that are coming. And I'll talk a little bit about those in a minute, but so that you can search by what the meaning is, not just the keyword. So we're used to searching by keyword in Evernote, and that's how it's been for years and years and years. And AI is unlocking the ability for it to understand, what we're meaning versus what the exact keyword is that we're asking for. So we'll demo that in just a little bit. But the key is that the entire Evernote ecosystem has to be re-indexed, and they're calling that an embedding process. You can watch Federico go into a little more technical detail about it, but in essence, what this is going to allow for is for the natural languaging process of text that appears in your notes. And this is going to enable these AI conversations that we're now getting a lot of experience outside of Evernote with. We're going to have that inside of Evernote. So they're working on the embeddings. When the embeddings are done, it sounds like they're going to release version 11. So then that leads to the next question of when will that be? And as he points out, there's a staggering number of notes that they need to go through and do the embedding on. 3.2 billion notes for users who have been active in the past 2 months. Okay, so it's a lot. And this is a process, and they're working on it. So all notes must be indexed or prepared for the version 11 features. And this embedding process is the foundation of at least 2 major version 11 features that he covers in the video, and we'll talk about here, AI Assistant and Semantic Search. Okay. Before he goes on, he does talk about a privacy note, and I always want to call out privacy because it's a common question, and everybody who uses Evernote wildly, like me, should be concerned with this. Evernote treats this is a quote, of course, Evernote still treats all of your content, even with this embedding process, both your notes as usual, but including embeddings, as private and confidential. So the same level of data safety that you've been using when storing your content on Evernote is still guaranteed, and the process of generating the embeddings happens internally. Okay, so they're not sending your data out to an AI model. They are doing this embedding indexing internally, and their 3 laws of data protection still are intact. Now, with that in place, let's talk about the preview of the version 11 features that he mentions in the video. And they have started to release some of these. So I'm going to actually demo them here for you. But he first talks about AI Assistant, meeting notes, and semantic search. You can learn more about these on their website. They've actually given some documentation to it, both in the help and learning area, as well as publishing it on their website. And if you're a paying user of Evernote, you're starting to see some of these features kind of get dripped out in a beta format before version 11 appears. So this is why it made the November recap, because some of them are in some of your accounts. I'm going to demo them here. They are in my account, so you'll be able to kind of see what's coming if you don't have access to it. But I could tell you some of my customers are starting to report, even just this week, seeing them. So they are rolling out. The first is AI Assistant. This is currently rolling out to select paying customers, and they're starting with those on the advanced plan. So Again, let me just clarify too. Most of you probably know this, but I don't actually work for Evernote. I've been an Evernote expert for, since 2009 and coaching Evernote users since then. And I talk to Evernote a lot, but I don't actually work for them. So I don't have any full insight into who's getting this, for example. What I do know is that users who are on the advanced plan qualify first to receive this feature. And if you're on the advanced plan, if you have been previously paying for personal or professional and you haven't proactively downgraded, we'll talk about the plans in just a little bit. All right, so the AI assistant is currently rolling out. You may or may not see it. If you don't see it yet, you will soon. The UI, it's a UI element. So it's really asking, it's got this right sidebar chat, and you can see here, let me just pull this down. Oh, did that work? Nope. What did I do? Okay. So here's my cursor. So it's a UI element, the right sidebar chat. So you see down here, this little new icon. This is what you'll see, and you can open the AI assistant by clicking on it, and you can see that it's got a prompt, right? So it looks a lot like those. It looks a lot like ChatGPT is what it looks like. And for those of you that are interested in understanding what goes on behind this, they actually are using OpenAI to integrate with this. Their case study on the OpenAI website, there's some information about that out there on the web. And you have the opportunity to interact and chat with your notes right from Evernote. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like. And I'll talk about a couple of questions I'm sure are there, and I'll give you a demo of it in just a second. But basically, we can search our notes. You can also search the web. So that is a toggle and an option for you to search either just within your account or go outside and pull in data from the internet. And you can control your usage with preferences. So back to this embedding thing, they're embedding all of your notes. This process is private and confidential. That's going to allow for this natural language search and conversational approach. But depending on which feature you're using, you may still be agreeing to use a third-party AI tool, and you can control this in your settings. Okay, so if you go to your settings and you go to this new setting here under preferences, under AI features, you're going to see that you can granularly turn on or off all of the AI features that are here and decide if you want to use their third-party tool or not. So it's going to be on by default. You need to turn it off if you want to not agree to all of that. And AI Assistant is saying that some data may be shared and processed by a third-party AI vendor. Okay, so this is one of the tools where they are using OpenAI in this case to deploy and implement the tool. Now, same with some of the AI transcription functions. On the flip side, though, semantic search, which is the third major AI feature that embedding is helping, is that no data is going to be sent or accessed by third parties. They're using their internal model for that. Okay, so that's something you want to read, and they're really clear about in the settings, and then you can choose which processes that you want to embrace. And this is starting to roll out now. As you start to have access to them, you'll see these features available and these preferences in the feature area. All right, so AI Assistant is controlled with, let's talk about a demo. So he uses a recipe in his video. He does a really good example of, or a really good job of giving a very good and clear case study. So I encourage you to go back and watch it. But I kind of replicated it in my account here. So if I were to go here and ask the AI assistant, which again, I've opted into, So I'm going to ask it, I can ask it to summarize this note. So let's say, let's do that. So please summarize the key points of this note. Okay. Because I'm on this note, it's going to summarize this note. Now here's the little web search option. If I wanted it to go out to the web, I could click this to enable that. If I don't, which I don't in this case, I'm going to go this way. You can see here that there's a couple of other options, and I'm going to go like this and tell it to summarize this note. And let's see what it does. And you can see how quickly or how slow it works. It's up to you, but it's doing a good job of getting my current note information. And this is a pretty lengthy note, but I would expect it to kind of come back with a pretty good outline of the features that I have outlined in this training and I'm presenting to you. It's working. Let's see how it goes. And by default, it's going to the note that's selected. So if you have a larger, point, if you have a larger notebook, you could select the notebook and have it kind of default to that. All right, so the way YouTube is working, I can see that it's covering up the little box. So let me actually move this for you guys so you can see the little box here. So this is what I did. I asked it anything, and here's the web search button. So thanks for letting me know that. Okay, so here's what it did. It created a draft. What's new? The feature release, enhanced productivity tools, and kind of did a little element. Now, I now have some options here. I can create a new note with this. So let's do that. Let's create a new note. And you can see here, it's given me a summary of what I talk about. All right. And then I can continue the conversation if I want. I actually prepared another example here. So let's go ahead and look at this. Let's look at my notebooks actually. Okay, so this is along the lines of what Evernote used as its example. And so let's see how best way to clear this. All right, you can clear it here. So this is how Federico did it. He said, what would complement this pork chop recipe as a side dish? And I spelled it wrong, but I'm going to enable the web search because I know that I don't have that information in here. I'm going to spell it properly. And I'm going to go. Okay, so it searches the web. It found these items. I'm going to tell it I clicked on it. And by the way, it launched that over here. So that's kind of nice. But I am going to say to it, I like the garlic mashed potatoes. Please create a shopping list of those ingredients for me. Okay. So now again, it's interacting with the web and it is creating this here. Nice. And as he makes a point, I can continue to engage with this. So I can say, I've got sour cream. So, or let's just say I have butter already. So I already have butter. Please update the list and add, and he uses berries, which I also need. So he said you can add it there. So I can just continue the conversation very much like an AI chat. So now garlic, potatoes, and berries shopping checklist. I can insert it into the existing note and I can choose below or where my cursor is. Or in this case, let's just create a new note. And now I've got my shopping list. Okay. So great example of AI assistant, and you're able to engage with your notes in a variety of ways. We're going to see tons of use cases within my academy. We're going to do a whole training and discussion about opportunities for using this. This is just the beginning, and you'll want to start playing with it as soon as you see it. All right. All right. So that's a quick example. Let's go through more. Close a page over here. I'm working on 2 monitors. Okay, notice here too, it's still recording down here. It just moved it because I have the note not live or open. Now it pops it back up here. So it didn't interrupt. Really nice feature. We'll get there in a little bit. All right, The second one is meeting notes. Now, this is available. If you pay Evernote, you have access to this, assuming you're on the versions that enable it. So another reason to keep up with the different clients. But this is available now to all paying customers. And in the demo, it's already happening. So here, what I'm going to do is let's look at the results. So I showed you how to start a meeting. And now we're going to stop it. And it is adding that here. Okay, so now I have the recording as normal, but here's what's new. And notice there's a couple of options here. So there is speaker recognition. I'm the only one talking here, so I don't need speaker recognition, so I can turn it off. But I'm going to leave it on just so you kind of see what it's looking like. But now I'm going to transcribe it. And a couple of things. This goes up to 1 hour. So it will hold the audio long if it's over an hour, but it'll give you a notification that you're not able to transcribe it if it's over an hour. Yes, Evernote knows that users want it to be over an hour, and they have told us that they are going to be actively working on that once they get through version 11's release. So this is just something to keep in mind as you're using this in its early stages. You have a 1 hour cap. There's also a size constraint as well, but it does a really good job. And so it's asking me to keep the note open. It is transcribing it. Let's see how long this takes, and I'll show you kind of what it does. All right, so because I'm only one speaker, it's here. But if you want to if you had multiple speakers and I typed Stacey, it would update my name on every speaker one, okay? Of course, that's a lot of text, okay? So we're going to have improvements where it's able to actually clean that up and work on it, but the transcription's there. And then I can click on the summary tab, and this part is going out to third-party tool. Again, we're not training the tool though. The AI is not being trained by this usage, even if you do authorize it. Just be sure you read the instructions. And you can see here, it did provide a pretty nice summary of what I've covered so far. I can copy the summary. I can create a new note. I can paste it here. I can edit it or do different things. Okay. So really, really functional. Those kinds of things can be really nice to do. All right. Then you have the option to regenerate the transcript without the speaker as well. So this is actually a new feature that's in December, not released in November, but certainly a nice option for those that might want it. And then it's going to save your recorded options as well. Let me just show you what I mean by that. So we are going through, if I want to do this audio and remote, I'm recording it here. We'll show you what happens when we stop it next time. It'll remember my preferences about speaker recognition and etc. All right. Okay, so I'm seeing in the comments that the transcribe feature used to format into nice paragraphs, they're actually working on bringing that back. So I would say that this is just an iteration of what's happening. Obviously, the formatting and the ability to have it look good and be scannable is coming. So yeah. And one of the things that they're playing with is, especially when you have multiple speakers, they used to have it where it was putting automatic timestamps in, and like they were getting feedback that people don't want the automatic timestamps. And now we've got just one big long paragraph, right? So I think this is all about the feature being new. And I think these kinds of things are going to start to get ironed out over time. But they've got to kind of, work out the tech with what the desire of the customers are. And they do have a form that you all can provide your feedback. And I'd encourage you to do so. Again, they have noted that this is a beta feature. So, I can't speak to exactly what the roadmap is going to be. They're, again, in control of that. But I know they hear that feedback, and obviously having that, they look at that and they know that big chunk of text isn't easy to read. And they're either going to provide a way to kind of AI transcribe that, like through up here, like I could clean up or want to use one of these AI features to do that, or use AI to make it a little more readable right out of the get-go. All right. So that's AI meeting notes. Again, if you're paid feature, if you're a paying customer, you should already have access to that. It's really, really powerful. It works in multiple languages as well. So certainly a fantastic new feature for Evernote users. All right, semantic search. This is currently rolling out to select paying customers. Again, on the advanced plan, I have heard of even fewer people having this than the AI assistant, so I wouldn't expect this one as quickly. As I showed you in the preferences, this doesn't use your third-party AI, and he uses a couple of examples. What this is going to do is bring AI into your search box. So let's just do like I like to travel. So if I go to search and I ask it for Morocco destinations, notice what's happening over here. This is new. This is the semantic search. Okay. It's giving smart results. So it's not only, you can see here, Morocco's not in the subject line, right? And we've got a couple of things here. And so it's giving some smart results, they call it. And this is the semantic search. So smart matches. These are notes displayed on the semantic relevance to your search. So semantics, that natural language that this embedding feature is doing. You can disable them anytime from your settings. I showed you that. And then if I hit return, you're going to see that it's still going to do a search like we're used to seeing. But I've got this ability here to see these semantic results as well. Now, if I get even more specific, and I'm finding that this is like, it's really new, right? It's really, really new. And so I'm finding it has some variability to it. But if I get even more specific and I look here, and I look for a flight number, okay? So I went to Morocco many years ago and I have a lot of notes in here. It's writing a quick answer. Look at this. So it found direct flights between Morocco and the United States. So it found notes related to this in my account, but it didn't give me the exact flight number. I've done it again and it did give me the exact flight number. So I'm not sure, when it's working and when it's not, but here it's referencing, like it's found that I've got flight information here. And my flight number does appear here, but I have found that doing this multiple times is currently resulting in different results. Like I've had it find the exact flight number, and ultimately that's the intent, right? It should be able to find the flight number. So it's finding this YouTube note because I have this comment in there, but that's where it's going to go. So one of the things I'd love to, I'm coach my customers about that I think is really relevant for users to understand is that Evernote is, the engineering team at Evernote, it gets what you want. They understand what you want and they're deploying it, but it's not 100% perfect right out of the gate. It takes a little time for the feature to be refined to what the user ultimately wants or what the vision of the feature is. And I think this is a perfect example of how we have to remember that this is a beta feature and it is coming and it's working really well. It will work really, really well. And it has a lot of potential, but you might have to try a couple of times in order to get it exactly as you intend. And then feedback to Evernote is really helpful too for them to continually revise it. All right. All right, so that's where you're going to find semantic search and some examples on how you're going to find it. So you can see here, I got a screenshot from trying it earlier, and it actually did find the record locator number, which is better information versus the flight number. And, I flew there in 2021, so it was a while ago, but it did a great job of indexing that and finding it in my account. All right, he went on to talk about some additional version 11 features. All of these are actually already in the app and you can experience them today and they're all really cool. The first is the new insert menu. So this is available now for all paying customers. It provides logical groupings of the insert commands. You can also favorite certain ones and I'll demo it right now. So this is referring to the insert menu here. Notice I have a favorite up here. So that's because what I did is I gave it a star. So if I use tasks a lot and I'm using the insert menu to put tasks, or let's try a different one. Like I use this middle header a lot. I can now go over here, set it as a favorite, and now it appears at the top of my list. Super intuitive. I love this feature. And then you'll notice also that there are groupings here that are logical. So we have the essentials, we have the text styles now group, lists, and media, and code blocks. So a feature that was asked for a long, long time was to be able to order these. So you can't order them however you want, but now we can at least favorite them and put them up at the top. So really nice. And then if I want to just remove it, you just click it again there. All right. So very nice visual improvement to the to it. And then they have kind of mapped that with the slash commands. So slash commands, if you hit /, you can see that it pops up a menu and you have a lot of options. This has been completely revamped to also group by similar items, but also expand upon many, many of the items that are here in the note editor that we never had access to in the slash command before. And notably, look at this. If you keep scrolling, there's a bunch of them. Now, I can't favorite in this. I can only favorite in the insert menu. But look at, we've got like text colors. Like I never knew we had these before. Like I didn't know this until I saw Federico's post, but look at all these colors. So I could choose red and then my text will be red. Text is red. And now I can type blue. Okay. I could choose light blue or whatever. And now the text, oh, it is not. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. All right. So you can play with it and you can just type the / and have it appear there. It also is implements something called aliases. And these are really, really helpful. So if I want to, notice here, if I want to insert a new task, I could type task. But if I type the word action, it also is filtering to tasks. So there's a lot of these common semantic aliases being added to the menu so that what you call something is going to trigger the right command versus what they necessarily have it labeled in the menu. So play with those. Kind of cool as well. But this is a power user move, is these slash commands being able to speed up the time it takes to change things around and add different formatting options. All right. The next thing he talked about is a citation generator. So this is available now to everyone, including free customers. And this is actually part of what's called Evernote's satellite site strategy. So all customers, you just have to have an account, can access these tools that Evernote develops that aren't necessarily inside of Evernote yet. And a lot of people have no idea that these are here, but it's actually a third-party site. So let me just click on it and go to it, bring it over here for you. Oops, bookmark. Okay, so let's restart this. So this is actually its own standalone site. And Evernote does this for a bunch of reasons. Number one, it's a quick way for them to release new features that Evernote users have access to without having to go through the complexity of adding it to the app until such time it's like a proven entity or they understand exactly how it's going to be used. It's also a good marketing tool for them. They can give free users an opportunity to experience some of the functionality of Evernote. You know, you can see there's a CTA. You can't get rid of this. It's designed to be there to encourage people to sign up for Evernote. Again, they don't have to pay Evernote to use it, but they do have to have an account. And you can toggle between books and articles. And like he uses in his example under articles, you can type GLP1, search citations, and then it'll find matches, pick one, select it, and then it gives you your citation. You can copy it and use it somewhere else, or you can just save it to Evernote, or you can download it. Okay, so it was saved. I can even go in here and maybe edit that if I want to. You know, I don't want to in this case, but there you go. And then when I go back over here to Evernote, we're going to see that the citation has been added and it's there. So good research tool. You can do it for books. You can do it for articles. My genealogy customers haven't found it robust enough. So it's not good for all use cases, but for some research use cases, you might want to give that a try. And as a side note, if you look at evernote.com and go to Explore, you're going to see all of these are satellite sites. So there's a bunch of functionality that they have kind of released out in their own individual sites. And then they're starting to move like AI meeting note taker. Now they've folded that into the app experience. But if you're an Evernote user, you can go ahead and use these kinds of things right now. So take a look at those. Okay, let's keep going. Semantic search, citation generator, new insert menu. We showed that. New slash command, citation generator. Okay, so that's what he covered in this video. Let's talk about two things he did not cover that I want to address that I noticed. First is they've announced this in today's release notes, but the feature was actually added in November. So if you look at the release notes for today, you can see typing math just got smarter. Math suggestions will now automatically appear when you type $sign. So there's some simple math built into it. So if I go equals 5 times 2, or let's see, 5, let's try it out. 5 times 2 equals, see how it previews the 10? If I hit enter, it'll add it. Okay, so there's some simple math calculations. So the first thing I want to say is I'm actually finding it more useful than I thought I would. I'm using it occasionally. So I kind of like it. The second thing is this isn't what you really want. Okay, what I know users want is they want the table columns to sum and do some calculations. It is not that. It may be the foundation for that in the future, but it's not that. I can't sort or have any database functionality. Evernote's never offered that. It's not built that way. But this is the first step towards potentially offering that. And it is nice to have some of these simple math equations available in the note editor. So you can control this in the settings. This is another setting, which if you go to here and you go to notes, you have some options here in terms of calculation. You can turn that on or off here. Here's your / command. If you're not seeing it, you can turn that on or off. These are some really helpful preferences that you can customize to your liking. Okay, and then the biggie, new plans and pricing. So he didn't talk about this in the video at all. Evernote has they've revamped, what they call repackaged their plans. So the starter plan introduces new caps, and the advanced plan is what all personal and professional subscribers will automatically be migrated to when their plan renews. So if you're personal, you're going to be upgraded to advanced unless you proactively downgrade to the starter plan. Okay. And the starter plan introduces new caps that we've never had in paid plans before. And a lot of users are trying to figure out exactly what they want to do. So this whole session here is inside my academy. I've got a whole training already about how to manage this and how to understand the differences between them. I've been talking about this in my free newsletter. So I'll post the links to where you can get, separating fact from fiction, because there's a lot of misinformation out there about this. They're still testing it. Like I just went today. If you're on the annual plan, it looks like they're offering a week trial. I had no idea about that. That's new. The pricing is regional. You'll want to go look at this URL for your own region to confirm what the current pricing is. And I don't know if this annual plan is always going to have this trial or not. No idea. It just keeps moving. But this is the issue here, is that if you are on the starter plan, which by the way is cheaper than the old personal plan, so note that, you're capped at 1,000 notes, 20 notebooks, 1,000 attachments, up to 3 devices. That's just the key caps there. You want to go through the whole thing. Like they do have a tags cap now. There's a storage cap and a couple of other things. So attachment cap, these kinds of things you want to look at because you'll need to plan accordingly. Now, the one piece, instead of taking a deep dive into this, which is something I've already written about, which if you're on my newsletter, you saw that I talk about this for free a lot, and I'll keep you in the loop about it. You can subscribe at harmonenterprises.com/newsletter. The one thing I really want to clear up is that if you're going to downgrade, you'll pay less. You can proactively downgrade, and there's a URL with a help and learning article on how to do that. You're not losing your organization. You're not going to lose your notebooks, your stacks, your spaces. You're not going to lose your notes. You're not going to lose your attachments. They're not going to restrict you from it. They're just not going to allow you to create anything new. Okay. You're going to get a call to action that says, if you want to create a new notebook, you need to upgrade because you've got more than 20 notebooks, right? You have to fall under the notebook limit and eliminate notebooks in order to restart them. So you don't have to panic about this change. If you're still deciding what to do, you can downgrade and keep your structure, keep your account access, and it's going to have some road bumps in terms of Evernote asking you to upgrade as you interact with your data, but you'll still have access to all of it. Okay. So they spell that out really clearly in their help and learning article. So I encourage people to read that. It's not difficult to read. It's an easy read, and it clarifies exactly what happens, and it gives you time to decide what you want to do. You can always upgrade over time or upgrade for a month to work with it and reorganize your account, do a lot of those kinds of things. Okay. So there's and I'll put this in the replay here for you all, but I wrote about this. I did a whole article about separating fact from fiction and gives you links to their new pricing plans, as well as talking about what it is and linking to their official documentation about this. So this is the kind of thing here. I'm going to actually put this in the chat. Yeah. And again, if you are on the Evernote professional or personal plan, you're automatically rolled into advanced. You have to proactively downgrade in order to get into the starter plan. And you should, I mean, their process is they send one email out 30 days before you are 30 days before your renewal. But a lot of people, you know, your Evernote account's sometimes not associated with your primary email account. They miss that email, that kind of thing. I'd encourage all of you to go to your settings and take a look. Okay. But that clearly was the big news of last month. And if you are subscribed to my newsletter, I addressed it and I talk about these kinds of things as they come up. It's free. I send it every Monday and try to keep you guys in the loop on what you need to know. And then I take a deeper dive inside my academy for my customers to talk about and answer their questions and brainstorm and talk about the tips and strategies that you need in order to do that. All right. I see 45 minutes was about the right kind of time. Let me tell you guys, before I get into the chat and take a look at what your questions are, let me give you 3 ways you can keep learning. I already talked about it, my newsletter. So just if you can subscribe to my newsletter every Monday, you'll get an update that's my point of view on what's happening with Evernote. I talk about workflows, I talk about features, I talk about pricing, I talk about what is on users' minds. Also, subscribe to this channel. This is a format I'm kind of trying out. We'll see. If you're subscribed, I will tell newsletter subscribers about upcoming YouTube lives, but certainly if you're subscribed, you'll probably get pinged about it as well. And then it happens that next week, I'm actually running a challenge live to give people who want to stick with Evernote an opportunity to understand how to kind of clean up their account and start fresh with Evernote for the new year. It's a live accountability challenge where I'll be teaching the curriculum in real time over the course of 4 days, and you're invited to join me. I will put the link to that in the chat and see if you want to participate in that. We'd love to have you. And now I will transition over into the Q&A. So I'll add this to the comments for you if you're interested, and we can go from there. And I've got a couple minutes. I can answer about 5 minutes of questions. So let me stop sharing my screen. All right. I'm looking at your questions. Let me just give you a couple of things. So somebody's commenting that there seems to be no way to search for notes containing an exact phrase, quote word 1, word 2, and word 1 and word term return results. So I'm not positive about that. And let's just talk about that. Before all of this happened, all of this semantic search was going on and the embedding and natural language, we could put quotes around our search term to have an exact phrase match. And to my knowledge, that's still working. So if it's not working, it could be part of this a not perfect rollout, and it'll come back. That's the type of thing I would report. My understanding is we're still going to have the ability to do an exact word or exact phrase search. So if it's not working, that's not functionality I've heard of as being changed. It's just functionality that might be having a moment. Let's put it that way. Let's see. Will those being recorded have to give permission? Okay, so I think this is a great question, Susan. And no. So I think this is an issue that not just Evernote has, but like the whole the whole world has, right? And I think what is happening is that, and this is actually a good question. I'd have to look closer at their terms of service, but I'm expecting that the user, the subscriber to Evernote, is responsible for following the rules and regulations in your area. So certainly be on the lookout for that. And as a reminder, if you guys were recording this session, like it's going to be under an hour, so you can hit the stop button and kind of see how the transcription works on this, and maybe get a summary from it and go from there. But it's a really functional feature. Don't forget to stop the video and recording. Sorry, don't forget to stop the recording so that you can see the transcription in action and the meeting transcription in action. All right. Okay. Let me look at the next one. Are the AI features going to be included with the new pricing structure, or is AI an additional charge? Okay, great question. So at launch of version 11, they're going to be included, and they're going to be actually included for all plans, even the free plan, is what I've been told. I would expect we're going to see some continued evolution and probably some limits on the AI features over time as they start to understand what the cost, what the token cost is, how much people are using them. And I would expect the advanced plan to have a lot more access to the AI features in terms of usage than the starter plan. But at launch, I think their intent is to give everybody access to all of them, so you can kind of play with them and see what's available. As I mentioned, though, in the training, you can turn those off. So that's my understanding. But if I have, again, not being an employee of Evernote, I don't know for sure, but it feels logical to me that this is going to be an evolution. Bending Spoons tests things all the time. They test pricing. You saw, like, going to the page today, I had no idea they're doing a free week on the annual plan. Obviously they're kind of testing that out. I don't know if that's permanent or if that's just how it is. So that's my guess. Okay, a couple more before we wrap up. I wish there was a shortcut or bookmark inside Evernote app to bring a page listing these satellite sites. So what I would do is I'd put the Evernote URL on a note and put it in my shortcuts, or put it on my scratch pad on my home, that you can easily access it anytime. Kelly says, I see that when you have a web link and paste it and hit return, the last part of the web link with numbers appears after an equal sign. Yeah, so I think, these are all, again, new features. This is November stuff. And I think how they deploy this is going to get refined over time. And I think if you've got a web link that has an equal sign in it, it might be reading it currently as a calculation. So be really cautious in how you click and look at it. I think that's the right type of thing to train your eye to see and observe kind of how it behaves. Make sure it behaves how you want. So good thing to look at. So Drew is on the Evernote Professional plan right now. Will I automatically be adjusted? Yes, I think we covered that. Yes, you will. And when can we expect version 11's official release? I don't know. I wish I knew. Like I said at the beginning, it could be tomorrow. I would say it's not going to be tomorrow. It's probably going to be before the end of the year. My guess is that indexing is going to take some time. And when the indexing's done, and the features are, the other thing Bending Spoons does, which I've kind of learned over time, is they release these transformative new features a little at a time. And as they start to expand the environments that the feature is exposed to, they hear, problems with it, and which they're able to repair or fix or tweak really quickly before they, making the rollout go smoother for the general population. So I feel like we're kind of in that right now with the AI features. And I would hope, I think every intent of Bending Spoons is to get it out there, but they want to make sure that they can get it out there so that it's working for everybody and they can support the billions and billions of notes that they manage. So there you go. We shall see. Certainly I'll tell my newsletter about it. I can tell you that. And Salvador's asking if you can downgrade to free. So same issue as if you downgrade from advanced to starter. You can also go to starter to free. Free comes with even stronger limits. So I understand. I don't know for how long. I don't think there's any cap on how long. I think it can be forever. All right. So there you go. Currently on the personal account. To downgrade to the lower level account, I'd like to figure out my current usage. Okay, I'm going to end on this. This is a great question. One of the things Evernote's done with the starter plan is they've put caps on how much you can have. And one of those is how much your usage is in terms of files and account size. They haven't really provided a good way to figure that out. So they know, the ECE community, which I'm part of, has been telling them, they get it. They understand that if they're going to cap it, they need to provide users a way to actually manage it. So I'd expect we're going to see innovation in that over time, but it's not super easy right now. So don't have a great solution for you. I would focus on, if you go to the files kingdom on the side, you can see your file list, but I'm not clear if a document versus a little icon that you forwarded in from an email counts as a file or not. All those things are very fluid and being defined right now. So more to come. And as they announce more, certainly I discuss all of these kinds of things within the Academy. That's an opportunity, if this appeals to you, to go deeper with all of that and get engagement with me and the other members there. But as they also announce that kind of stuff, I will do what I can to share it in the newsletter and maybe here on YouTube. All right. Okay. Well, thanks for hanging in there with me. I hope you will all try that meeting feature and conclude it and see how the transcription and the AI summary works for you. Again, you should all, if you pay Evernote, you have access to that feature right now, even though it's coming in version 11 for everyone. And thank you for being here live with me today. Hope to see you again next time and have a great December.